Bitcoin currently trading at a huge resistance area. I predicted this area around 1 month ago on this channel. The question on everybody's minds tonight, going into tonight, is Bitcoin getting ready to break out? A massive move for the Bitcoin bulls, a massive bullish confirmation if Bitcoin can do it, or should you be ready for a Bitcoin throwback? What is up, everyone? Thanks for coming by Crypto Capital Venture. Hit that subscribe and like on the way in, and let's just jump into the charts. This is Bitcoin on the hourly. Not going to spend too much time here, but you get the point. It paints a nice picture of what Bitcoin has been doing. We've been making these nice moves up with consolidation and then just continuation over and over again. The question is, as we trade within this Fibonacci retracement, the 786 at $11,900 area, the 618 at $11,400 area, we're in between that area. Huge resistance, huge midterm resistance for Bitcoin. The question is Bitcoin going to make its next move up and through the upper end of that resistance? So going to the weekly chart, we know the story being told, everyone. Bull market high. I'm always going to repeat myself here for context. Swing high last summer, which was a lower high, potential lower high again a year later, a little over a year later. Is that what is happening right now? For rejection back down. That's what we're tracking. We're waiting for that or bullish confirmation back up. Namely, we need to break that swing high from last summer, $14,000. We could be well on our way, and it can happen quick. So some things I want to talk about. 3 things. Number 1, there's 2 Fibonacci resistance areas I really want to just go over. Number 2, there are 2 macro throwback areas you need to be prepared for. Confluent with that really is 2 micro throwback areas as well. And I want to talk about these areas, but I also want to discuss what a breakout might look like for Bitcoin. So let's talk about it. First off, 2 Fibonacci resistance areas. Very simple, especially because I did a video mainly on these 2 areas yesterday. So number 1, we have the August swing high to the swing low we had in September, and we have our Fibonacci retracement. It's that green rectangle you see on the screen. It's charted on the screen right here. That is this first Fibonacci retracement that we're within. Now, confluent with that, and this is so important, everybody, this is where your eyes should be right now. Confluent with that is the swing high from last summer, and I got to expand my chart a little bit, to the swing low in March, and you can see just this macro-looking Fibonacci retracement. And Bitcoin, I covered this yesterday very briefly, Bitcoin has been consolidating along this area. This is a macro resistance area. So we have these 2 resistance areas, and if you just zoom in here on the daily chart, Bitcoin is trading just at the upper end of these resistance areas. Bullish confirmation is so close for Bitcoin, and if we just want to measure what that looks like from where Bitcoin is right now, that micro Fibonacci retracement to a little over 2% away. Now, secondly, I want to talk about this. This is important because, we know what we can look for in terms of resistance to the upside. It's 11,900, simply put. I've been repeating that a lot on this channel, but I want to talk about the potential for just throwback in general. What areas are, what key areas should we be looking for? So there are 2 macro throwback areas, and they stem from these patterns, namely these 2 necklines. So our first neckline that we're looking at is a neckline from a head and shoulders. It's an inverse head and shoulders, huge inverse head and shoulders back here. I know that's not drawn beautifully, but you get the point, with a neckline right around $10,500. So that is the first throwback area. We talked about when we got the breakout above, right? We talked about getting thrown back to that area, which we have, but you have to continue to look for consolidation with and along that trend line when it happens, especially on a macro scale, because these macro patterns, these macro moves take time to play out. Obviously, in this case, we got our neckline break in July, and we're still talking about this key area in terms of Bitcoin, and it's October. So the other area that I want to talk about is the neckline of Head and Shoulders that we broke out of not as long ago, right? We broke the neckline. It was back here. You can see the neckline right around $11,140. We broke through that, hit our target, And most recently, a few days ago, you can see we broke back above. That is huge for Bitcoin. But don't be surprised if Bitcoin interacts with that exact area. If we come back down and just see that area, to test that area, especially being Bitcoin right now on the daily chart has been seeing some consecutive daily green candles approaching that overbought area on the RSI. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but as we approach this area, just anticipate potential for throwback, potential for consolidation, and that 11,140 area is a really key area in terms of potential for consolidation back down, and that's like a 4% move. That would be a scenario where we see Bitcoin tomorrow, maybe 4% day, 5% day, grappling with that area. Short-term consolidation, oftentimes very important in continued uptrend. So the micro throwback areas we're looking for are 10,800 on two different areas. The Fibonacci, 10,800, and also the 50-day moving average, 10,800. So if we're looking at 10,800 and where it is on the chart, this is where it is on the chart. I'm going to just draw a nice little green line right here. So this is a daily chart, and you can see the 50-day moving average right above. This is the blue line. That is basically right above 10,800. And then the Fibonacci that we're looking at is very simple, everybody. It is the current move for Bitcoin. So it's that previous swing low to the current swing high. And we have a Fibonacci retracement, and this would act as support for Bitcoin, or we'd at least hope that it acts as support. And you can see the 50-day moving average right here in blue, a little bit higher than where I drew that green line, but you get the point. The confluence of that support is there, 10,800 between the 50-day moving average and this green retracement channel for this Fibonacci retracement, big support for Bitcoin. So to just wrap up real quick what I just went over, 10,800, there are two areas there to be mindful of for a throwback. And then in terms of macro throwbacks, 10,500 and 11,140. So we have 4 points on the chart acting as support right now down to 10,500. Now what I want to talk about right now is this tweet from earlier, because all of this comes together perfectly. And this was the tweet: Bitcoin testing all kinds of resistance in the short term, higher high move. Don't be surprised of a throwback to 10,800. This would likely translate to negative 10% or more volatility for altcoins. If Bitcoin can continue up and through 11,900, it is major bullish milestone. So obviously two different things going on. Quickly, let's visit the throwback area, right? So we just gave 4 throwback areas ranging from like 11,000 plus to 10,500. And what I want to show you is this chart, this awesome chart that has been so reliable, from the symmetrical triangle to Bitcoin bouncing like ping pong ball through these Fibonacci's to the perfect breakout at the symmetrical triangle apex. Now we look for potential throwback to the apex. And if you notice where the apex is, right around 10,800, right? Down to right around 10,400. So it covers a majority of our support ranges that we just talked about on Bitcoin, and it is a huge support area. So the reason we have this area set here is for this reason. If Bitcoin comes down, sees support, that's good. That's normal. That's healthy. There could be huge bullish confirmation bounce off of that. If Bitcoin falls through this channel, and this is why we have these areas to watch, that is very, very bearish, everybody. So that is what you want to look for in a scenario where potentially, we wake up tomorrow and it's just one of those mornings you wake up and cryptos are down like 12% or something. Everything's red. What is Bitcoin doing at this area? 10,800 to 10,400 or so. Key area for Bitcoin. Not only all those other indicators we just talked about, these macro, these micro throwback areas, but simply put, it is the apex of a very key symmetrical triangle we just broke out of. Remember, in terms of data, 62% of the time, on average, we get a throwback. There's a 62% throwback rate to the apex of a symmetrical triangle. This is based on, I think, over 3,000 trades that Bolkowski did on his patternsite.com. So reliable data. It doesn't mean we're necessarily going to get a throwback, but I'm telling you, just be prepared for it. I know I'm talking a lot about throwback in this video, but it's important just to note that it's very, very possible. Obviously, to the upside, everybody, simply put, what we're looking for right now is, and if I just delete some of these lines, we're looking for continuation from where Bitcoin is right now. Again, Bitcoin is so close and has so much momentum, so much room for bullish case upside in the short term, 2% away from testing this 11,900. If we get a break above that area, and if Bitcoin breaks 12,000, you might even see a little short-term FOMO. Very, very possible Bitcoin just breaks out and gets separation from all of this area. And then we're talking about Bitcoin just needing to see support above 11,900 all the way down to 11,400. That's the scenario we want to be in. Support in that area. Even if we just get a nice pump for Bitcoin, come quickly back down to test this area, consolidation, look for some type of pattern, some type of formation. This is the continuation. This is the picture of continuation we will be looking for. The case for Bitcoin to do that is there. But right now, as Bitcoin on the daily charts is, like I said, approaching overbought, it's just something to be mindful of, the case for a throwback in terms of Bitcoin charts. But the case for a breakout is also there. And remember, everybody, the breakout target for the symmetrical triangle is $12,500. What will happen in that range? We would look for resistance. That could be the scenario. Bitcoin pumps to 12,500, only $900 away, and we come back down potentially for some consolidation, for a breather, for continuation back up. $14,000 is a price we're really looking for. But again, this thing just takes patience. These charts take some patience. So that's the data for today. This is what I will be watching going into tonight. Let me know what you're watching. Let me know how you're doing. I hope you're having a great start to the week. If you're here, not a subscriber, hit that subscribe for the very, very, very best Bitcoin data and analysis you can find on YouTube. I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks, and God bless.